Let me ask you something. What do you get when you mix a global war entering its third week, a US government that cannot pay its own workers, a meteor exploding over Cleveland, a top intelligence official quitting and blaming Israel, and a soccer championship being reversed 2 months later after it has already been played? You get chaos, you get confusion, and you get narratives battling other narratives. And of course, you get a world where truth is moving faster than people can process it. This is What's New with ME. I'm your host, Ali Midawi, and today we're breaking down everything that you need to know. No fluff, no bias, just simple clarity. Let's get started. Segment 1. Iran, day 19 escalation phase. We are now on day 19 of the Iran war, and this is no longer a limited conflict. This is evolving into something much bigger. Here's what matters. The war has now entered what military analysts call a leadership decapitation phase. That means this is no longer just about missiles or bases. This is about targeting the brains behind the system. At the same time, the Strait of Hormuz, I know I talked about it a lot, one of the most critical oil routes in the world, is totally under pressure, which means oil markets are unstable and global allies are not unified. Behind the scenes, something even more important is happening. There's a fracture forming inside the US government itself. Not everyone agrees with this war, not even close. And that leads us right into the next story. Segment 2. Trump official resigns and drops a bomb. This is where things get serious. A top U.S. intelligence official, Joe Kent, head of the National Counterterrorism Center, just resigned. Not quietly, not politely. He walked out and made a statement. He said, and I quote, Iran posed no imminent threat to the United States, and that the war happened due to pressure from Israel and its American lobby. That is not a small claim. That is a system-shaking accusation from inside the system itself. Now, let's be precise. This does not prove he's right, but it does prove something critical. There is a real internal divide at the highest levels of power. And here's why that matters. The America First anti-war faction is pushing back. The national security intervention side is pushing forward. And now, that conflict is public. This is the first major resignation tied directly to the war. It's likely not going to be the last. Segment 3, government shutdown and its real impact. So now let's bring it home, literally. Because while global headlines are exploding, the US is dealing with something very real, a government shutdown crisis that is now affecting everyday Americans. Here's the truth that most people don't understand. This isn't just politics. This is infrastructure. We are literally seeing TSA agents working without pay, which means what? Massive absentee rates, some airports at risk of partial shutdown. And when that happens, you don't just get delays, you get system failure risk. This is a deeper issue. The US depends on essential workers who are legally required to work, even when unpaid. That model is starting to crack. And when it cracks, travel, logistics, and public trust all goes down with it. Segment 4, Meteor over Cleveland. Yeah, it's real. Now, let's talk about the one story that sounds fake, but it isn't. A meteor just exploded over Cleveland, Ohio on broad daylight, visible across multiple states. Here's what actually happened. Roughly 6 to 7 tons in size, traveling about 45,000 miles per hour, entered the atmosphere and exploded midair. People heard a massive boom. Homes shook, and it triggered panic across the region. This isn't a movie impact event. This was a fireball atmospheric explosion, but here's why it matters. These events are rare, and when they happen during the day, they go viral very fast. It reminds us Even with everything going on politically, nature still reminds us who is really in control. Segment 5, AFCON chaos. Morocco wins after losing? So here is the wild story, and I'm biased and proud. The African Cup of Nation Finals was just overturned 2 months later. Let me repeat that. A championship that we played in, hosted by my mother country, was reversed after the final was already played. Originally, Senegal was awarded the title. They won the match. They took the trophy. Now, CAF just ruled that temporary walk-off protest. Remember that 16 minutes that you walked out and said you're not willing to play if they don't overturn the call by the ref? Yeah, that's a violation, an automatic forfeit. So Morocco has been given the trophy. Morocco wins on technical decisions. Senegal loses the trophy. Already, they thought they won. And now this is likely heading to the international arbitration. This is bigger than soccer. This is about doing the right thing, and I'm glad that they did. This is about governance. This is about fair play in the actual field, and whether outcomes are decided on the fields or in the boardroom. So, in closing, let me give you that big picture that I just try to paint for you. So, what do all these stories have in common? Simple. We are in a moment where power is being challenged, systems are being tested, and narrative are colliding in real time. You've got a war that is escalating, a government that is straining, a system dividing internally, a sky literally exploding over Ohio, and a championship rewritten after the fact. This is not normal. This is a transition period in how the world operates. And your job? Well, just don't panic. Stay informed. Stay sharp, and stay ahead. And by the way, if you want a real conversation, real insights, and real perspectives, go and visit us at vmestudios.net, because this is just the beginning. And trust me, you're going to want to stay plugged in. A whole lot more coming. We'll see you soon.
Still marketing your business like it's the Yellow Pages era? Welcome to ME Studios, where local solopreneurs and small business owners catch up with the digital world and take over it. We help you go from invisible to undeniable. Featured on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Plus, gain press exposure in over 100 to 300 major media outlets like Fox, ABC, CBS, NBC, and the CW. Right here in Eatontown, New Jersey, just steps away from the soon-to-be Netflix studios, our multi-unit facility is built for creators, entrepreneurs, and visionaries. Stop marketing like it's 1995. Start building your digital authority today with a team that gets it.